are going to be led by the moderator, that's Tad Peterson, and Tad is a principal consultant at, and is a mobile commerce lead at Encode Consulting. Tad is a principal of Encode, the strategy consulting division of Ericsson. Tad has a proven track record in payments and financial services, identifying and developing new opportunities and technologies. He has relevant expertise in loyalty and the application of customer behavior to the payments ecosystem in both corporate and entrepreneurial environments. And he's recognized as a global thought leader on the customer experience, loyalty marketing, mobile innovations, and digital transactions. His consulting background includes strategic engagements around credit and debit cards, mobile payments, airline payment platforms, consumer and merchant loyalty, payment technology evolution, stored value, and product innovation. So that gives you an idea of his depth of his, and you can certainly see it probably through the discussions as well. And one last thing about Tad, he is on the board of the Wireless Technology Forum, has been in the past, and has been a great contributor with connections to people as well as thought, and I think you'll see that in action as well today. So with that, please join me in welcoming Tad to moderate the session.
Thank you for being here. This is a really exciting time, perhaps the most exciting time to be in payments in general and mobile payments in specific. The group that we have tonight is, and I think I can honestly say this, this is like a bunch of rock stars in mobile payments, and they will all tell you that themselves. But anyway, we have, and we'll be doing more detailed biographies later on, but we have Rafael Diaz from GSMA, Cherian Abraham from Experian, Charlie Wiggs from Mozito, and Philip Andreae from Oberthur Card Systems. And as you'll see when we do their bios, they have been in this space for a very long time and know a great deal about it. So the way we're going to do this tonight is that I'm going to introduce each one of them, and they're going to have about 3 or 4 minutes of their own time just to talk a little bit about their perspective on payments. Then I'm going to ask them some questions that I prepared to kind of get the conversation going, and then we're going to turn it over to you guys. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the environment that we're in with mobile payments. So let's start with a few facts about payments, because one of the things that we as payment geeks tend to forget is that other people don't know about this stuff and talk about it endlessly ad nauseum to our spouses like we do, and so it's important to kind of talk about this. So let's talk about payments. The first important point about payments is that no payment product ever vanishes. Since the dawn of man, every form of payment still exists. So we're still doing coin, we're still doing checks, we're still doing currency, now we're doing debit, now we're doing credit, now we're doing NFC. They're all there. Everything is additive, and every time you add one, it adds complexity to the payment environment. Secondly, new payment types start with merchant acceptance. If the merchant doesn't accept it, the consumer will not be able to use it, plain and simple. The merchant drives. Thirdly, consumers will only adopt a new payment type when the value received exceeds the hassle of changing the payment type. You're not just going to change payment types because it's cool unless you are a payment geek, in which case you'll do it, but that's about it, and there's only about 10 of us, so that's not enough for a business. So it's really important to understand that there has to be a consumer side value proposition, because frankly, it's really easy to use this thing. Okay? There's nothing wrong with the $20 bill that's in here. There's nothing wrong with the credit and debit card that's in here unless you go to Target. Next, consumers will not adopt a payment method that is not fully functional in the environment where it's being used. If I take a $20 bill out, I can use it every single place that I go. If I go someplace and try to use a new payment vehicle and it doesn't work, and it's supposed to, I'm not going to use it. I'll drop it like a hot potato, because it simply isn't functional for me. Next, it takes an awful lot of work to launch a new payment vehicle. You have to get the merchant on board, you have to get the consumer on board, you have to have a value proposition for both sides, then you have to market the heck out of it for a very long time. And then lastly, and an important thing to remember, is an awful lot of the payment system isn't broken. We have an incredibly complex, very, very sophisticated payment system in this country that does a lot of things really, really, really well. And when you're starting to work around the edges like mobile payments, you have to remember that there's this core system that works very well. So those are some things about payments. I'm sure my colleagues would disagree with me. They disagree with everything else. So, but those are the kinds of things that I think about. In terms of the drivers of payments at this point in time, just a few things that we'll be kind of talking a little bit about. Something called EMV, which is a security methodology that's been adopted pretty much everywhere in the world except for in the U.S. Multi-channel, the ability to enable payments across a variety of devices and in a variety of different locations. NFC and secure element, the near-field communications tool that's being used by ISIS. Tokenization and encryption, which is an important technological capability that really makes payments more secure. Location-based marketing, location-based payments, so the device actually knows where you are and can enable payments that way. Something called Bluetooth low emission, BLE, which is a new thing out with the iBeacon and the PayPal beacon, which can enable payments as well as database marketing in store. And then lastly, of course, the Target breach, which kind of colored everybody's perceptions in the last month or so. So those are kind of the major drivers of what's going on in payments.